Hi, and welcome everybody to the Nerdy Dad Podcast. My name's Levi Bullard, or DM Dadbot on social media, and today we're bringing to you the no-win scenario. Now, you might be asking yourselves, what is the no-win scenario? And a no-win scenario is just that, a scenario that you cannot win. In D&D, it's where the dungeon master will put his players into a scenario already knowing that there is no way that this person or this party should be able to defeat this person. Unless it's some act of God, there's no way they're getting out of it. Why would we do that then? Why would a dungeon master choose to put their players into a scenario that they can't possibly win? Today we're going to discuss that, and we're going to go through the pros and the cons of putting your players into a no-win scenario. Now, when does this usually happen? This usually happens when players either are over cocky or the DM actually plays an open world sandbox game. Now, that is to say that they have monsters out in the world and they have people that are way too strong for your players. They have a realistic world. And when that comes into play is when they're just wandering around town or wandering in the wilderness and they come upon a dragon flying, there's no way that they're going to take a shot at it. Well, your players are probably going to. They're going to see a dragon and want to fight it. So, what do you do when you know that there's no way that they're going to win it? Do you railroad them out? Do you save them with some version of some Deus Ex Machina? Or do you just let them die? Do you let them take their consequences as they take or do you let them take their consequences as they took the risks? Remember, guys, your players will take on almost any challenge. That doesn't matter if they are sure that they're going to die or that they think that this creature is way too strong and they probably won't make it out. Your players are going to fight. 9 times out of 10, most players believe that that's the only way that they can play, is they have to fight everything that pops up in front of them. Now, this can be mitigated by the DM just telling you guys right up front, hey, there's going to be things that you might encounter in this world that are too strong for you. It's not my fault if you die. You need to figure out, okay, this dragon is way too strong. Obviously, we're level 3. So what are they going to do about it? You need to hide, you need to run, you need to use your skills and not rely on combat. Your characters believe that you won't throw a no-win scenario at them. So they're just going to charge head on. And that's the main thing, is just communicate with your players. Let them know what you're wanting, what you're trying to do, and make sure that they are aware of it. If you don't want to just tell them outright, hey, you guys might die, let them know through some NPCs. That's probably the better way to do it anyway. After your session 0, of course. But let your NPCs say, oh, that dragon out there is too strong. We even sent our mightiest warriors and they couldn't vanquish him. That might give them a little heads up as to, hey, we shouldn't fight these guys yet. Or they're going to get over cocky and be like, I want to fight this, let's do it. In which case, you're going to have to figure out, what do you want to do next? Again, do you let them go and charge head on into battle because that's the risk they're taking? Or do you try to pull off some act of God and save them? That's ultimately up to you. And hopefully this list of pros and cons that I'm about to give you will be able to help you out on what do you want to do, how do you want to run it, and do you even want to ever deal with a no-win scenario? Because unfortunately, it might come up. Now we're going to go down the cons list and then we'll hit the pros list. Now the worst thing that can happen is your players don't have fun. You ruin the fun for all of your players. And that's not because you intended to or anything like that, but your players are expecting to know what's going to happen in your games. If it's going to be a brutal and hardcore game, they expect to know about that up front. If there's going to be these type of scenarios where they can't win and have no chance, they need to know that up front. What I can say is even worse than that probably is that it might discourage your players from even playing at your table, another's table, or playing D&D in general. This might be their first time or even their second or third, and this just turns them off, thinking that all games and all DMs are going to be throwing these impossible situations at them. That's not what D&D is about, and we don't want to discourage any of our players from sharing this hobby and enjoying it. It destroys the self-esteem. When one player tries, does their best, and has made a character that they truly love and actually care about, then it really takes a hit on that self-esteem, and they might not charge into certain battles, even when they can win them. And last but not least, it can end the game. And as bad or as easy it is just to pick up and play next week, you don't want to end your game early because again, that's going to go back on all of the other topics that we have already covered. It's going to discourage your players from doing stuff because they're going to think that they're the problem. It's going to end the game, but it might end it forever. You don't want to end on that type of a note. Now we're going to jump over to the pros list, and we'll see what we can get from there. See if this is something you might want to add to your game. Now, we're going to go with the least one, but a lot of people love to just make characters. And this might give them another opportunity to play another character or just go make one. I love making characters myself, but hey, I'm a weirdo. Another thing that a no-win scenario can do is set up your world to be realistic. It shows that, there always is someone bigger and badder out there than you. That there are people that far surpass and have been doing what you're doing, but for way longer. And I think that is very important in a game, is to show that this is a real world and there's people who have been doing what you do and do it way better than you do. Even if players are 13th, 14th level, there's still some stuff that they can't take on. As one of my friends likes to say, it's a perfect opportunity to go nuclear. So when you're in a no-win scenario like that, if your players are aware that it is a dire strait that you probably don't have any chance of surviving, they can pop off every ability that they want. All those things that they haven't had a chance to try, that they've been saving up because they didn't want to use it and lose it, they can just boom, blow it up and go nuclear. Use all of their abilities, all their spells, and just try to take down this monster or this enemy. And the last thing that is an amazing opportunity for your no-win scenarios is to set up a villain, your end cap villain. So say your players are level 3, bring the level 20 boss out. Let them meet him. Let him do something horrendous and show that he's that evil villain. Now, when your players ultimately step up to him, you can't have them just kill him. But there's plenty of spells that can freeze them, lock them down, make them just fall over uncontrollably laughing. And that shows them that this person is way too powerful for them. There's no way that they're going to be able to take him. And he probably won't even give them the time of day. It's at that point, it's beneath them. So that is an amazing way to set up your end cap villains, your BBEGs, and probably the best reason to have a no-win scenario. So, in conclusion, communicate with your players. Let them know that a no-win scenario is possible. Let them know that so it doesn't discourage them, doesn't end the game, and doesn't ruin this hobby that a lot of people have strived so long to grow and share with the community. But it's not all bad because it can set up amazing villains, get you to create a new character, show that this world is realistic, and give you a chance to just go nuclear and use all of those awesome abilities that you've been saving up. Hopefully that brings a clearer picture into the no-win scenario. And until next time, what do you guys want to see covered?